Right. One.
Shake it out,
two.
Greg. Shake it out.
1, 2, 3.
Welcome to the All-Seeing Guys. The All-Seeing Guys. With Greg and Joe. The All-Seeing Guys. The All-Seeing Guys. Greg and Joe.
Hello, welcome to episode 155 of the All Seeing Guys podcast. I, of course, am Greg, and I'm joined.
What are you doing?
I don't know, I'm in a good mood.
Well, yeah, but there's good mood, and then there's children's TV presenter, which is the direction
What,
you've
children
gone for.
TV presenters go Greg?
I feel like I feel like they lengthen words just for the hell of it because it keeps children entertained for some reason.
Joe again sharing his insight of children's entertainers and their methods with me.
Say children's anus.
Children entertainers.
Oh right, that's not right.
That'd be weird if you were
That's not
sharing.
even- It's not even close to what I heard.
And obviously, I'm joined by.
Joe, yes, Joe.
There he is. Joined by Joe.
Very good. I
Stepping
tried
on-
to say it as quickly as possible. Joe.
Joe. Joe. G.I. Joe.
Oh yes.
How are we
hello.
doing, Jackson? How are we
Fantastic.
doing?
Yeah, I'm great. I'm absolutely great.
He's absolutely great. Excellent.
Yeah. Yeah.
How's your day been? I know you told me before we start recording for the benefit of the podcast. Joe, how was your day?
Yeah. It was all right. I woke up
Excellent. It's a good start.
to a text from work telling me to not come to the shop and instead head to Kensington to help out there. I was like, oh, lame. So then I got on the train and I got to as far as Wimbledon before my phone went off, and it was just my boss saying, "Yeah, change your plans, come back to the shop." And I was just like, "Oh, great! I'm
Good.
so glad I spent.
Because you've lost you've not lost time because it's when you're getting paid for it,
Nah.
you're still at work.
Yeah, that's it.
But you've eaten up into a big chunk of the morning, and you're in now. You didn't have to go to London.
I got up on time for them and everything.
Yeah, which is a result that you didn't have to go to London. You know.
Yeah,
wrong with London,
I was just
but-
like, "Oh, I'm so glad I spent £10 on this fucking train ticket."
Oh yeah.
Bollocks to the world. Yeah, no, in general, despite the shitty weather we had today after about a record 3 days of hot 20 plus degrees
Weather has been pretty stunning.
Oh, it's been sweaty, innit?
Last weekend, especially, burnt the fuck up my head trimming the
Yeah,
garden
you
and
did.
stuff.
Yeah.
And then-
oh,
and
let's
then I
talk
went-
about let's talk about last weekend when we get there.
Yeah. So yeah, I last Saturday we spent the day just doing all the gardening and stuff during the day to get
Yeah.
it all prepped for we're all summer ready garden.
That's it.
And then Sunday we were up with a bunch of Lizzie's friends in a park in Wimbledon where you were previously this morning. And it was actually a really good day. Really hot and sunny. Everyone got sunburnt, but it was a good solid weekend.
Yeah.
Like kept me nice and entertained, nice and busy, and nice and sunny.
Yeah. Lovely
And I like the sun. A lot of people are like, oh, we need shade. And I'm like, oh, I like the sun being out, but yeah, obviously just got burnt to a crisp. It was really annoying when I was doing the gardening on Saturday. I didn't realise I'd burnt my head
Yeah.
because usually I'd be wearing a hat, but when I started doing the gardening, it wasn't really sunny.
Yeah.
By the time I
yeah.
finished, it was like blinding sunshine.
Well, that's it. You don't really sort of notice it, and also like hats, like because like 90% of heat or whatever goes out your head. Like
Yeah.
the hat makes it a bit worse. So you obviously didn't have that.
sweat. No, I didn't
really
feel it. No,
realise.
yeah.
Until it's
And
too
then-
late, Greg.
And then that evening, Saturday evening, I knew I was coming to meet you and Ned for our potential first trip to like the pub outside of
but
lockdown and
that's a
stuff.
whole different story.
So I was like, oh, I'm going to shave my head then, And it wasn't until I started shaving my head that I realised I'd burnt my head because I was in the pain. I was literally, because I shaved my head in the shower, I was literally in there going, Lizzie after a while ran in. Lizzie ran in after a while, opened up the cupboard with the boiler in it, and was like, shall I turn the hot water off? I was like, no, it's not the hot water burning me. I've burnt my head, and I've started shaving, so I've got to finish.
When you told me that, the only thing that came to my head was the bonfire scene from Lost Boys, where they rip like the head.
Oh,
like that's
yeah.
I don't know why that was what I was thinking of. Like you were just taking off, just complete.
Yeah, I wasn't scalping myself.
Yeah, I was gonna say. But yeah, fucking.
I wasn't scalping
myself. What a bummer. But yeah, is your head all right now?
Oh yeah, it was fine. Next day it was fine.
Yeah. But
and that's the thing with me. When I get sunburn, no matter how bad it is, the next day it's always just turned into tan.
Yeah, absolutely.
I was a bit worried though because I did have a line down the side of my head. Oh, that was from Sunday. I had a line down the side of my head from like wearing sunglasses.
You would have looked like Kenny Powers.
That was gone. Because it was bank holiday weekend, wasn't it? So
yeah,
it was something. I don't know. I can't remember what I did Monday. But I was worried I was going to have this sort of thing on the side of my head. But luckily, it all leveled out by the next morning.
Yeah. So
I don't remember what I did bank holiday Monday.
Well, I'd returned to work after a week off, which had some eventful moments. Obviously, if you listen to the last episode, me and Greg met up during that week.
Yes.
And you know, kissed.
Yes.
And then I left. That was it. It was one very simple embrace, and then I just left.
Taking out our love for each other by manifesting it in hatred and disappointment in ourselves as men.
Yeah.
I'm not into that. Bye. Get out. Come back soon. Get out of it. Fuck off. I love you. I hate you. It's a weird relationship we have.
Whilst Hungry Eyes played in the background. You just having an existential crisis out loud.
It happens.
Yeah, so we met up, and then I was during that week off. I did some bits and pieces, and then I'd planned to obviously come to your house, but then I'd also planned to meet up with my sister on the Friday.
Yes.
And have some beers because me and her, we'd seen each other because her and Phil and the kids came over to the house because again we hadn't seen them all in fucking ages. So they came over, and then me and Amy agreed to meet up in town. So on the Friday, I was heading up to town, got to about like Clapham Junction, and was like, "Hey, I'm about 25 minutes away." She texts back. I was just like, "Yeah, I'm on my way as well, but but my train's not moving. I'm outside like Stevenage." I was like, "Okay, well, like I'm sure it'll be fine and everything." And then I get to Waterloo, and she texts me again. It was just like, "Yeah, it's not moving." And then she calls me, and was just like, "Yeah, they've just announced that this like train's going to be massively delayed, and but they don't know when it's going to move.
Jesus.
So it might take me like 2 hours to get there, and we only had like from 6 till 9 in the pub."
Yeah.
And she was just like, "I don't think I'm going to make it." I was just like, "Oh man." And she was like really apologetic, but for like it was not her fault at all. I was like, I refused. No. So she was just like, I'm so sorry. I was like, "Don't be. I've just got Burger King."
I've just come to Waterloo for a Burger King.
Yeah, I got on a train for a Burger King.
Which probably is our closest Burger King now, right?
Yeah, because Wimbledon one shut.
That's a McDonald's now, isn't it?
It is. That's what a kick in the face that is.
Yeah, isn't it just?
So yeah, my sister, when I are both a bit gutted that we weren't able to just meet up, but like I was at Waterloo and I was just like, text you and Greg, you and Ed was just like, "Are either of you about?" And it's just like, nope. So I still, anyway, just got on a train to Surbiton because there was one in like 3 minutes.
Yeah, nice.
And I was just like, well, I can get booze because I haven't got booze at home. So I picked up some booze on the way home. And I was still just like, I was really up for just being in a pub. Like, yeah. So I think Ed had said like, I'm around, like, I'm around tomorrow evening.
I think I said that. I think I said tomorrow, yeah.
And whilst I was in Surbiton, I went into our old stomper, the Wagon and Horses.
Yep.
And walked in, and it was still like you had to book, and I was just like, "Hi, can I book like a table for 4 people for like 6:30 Saturday?" And he was going through. It was just like, "Yep, that all seems fine." Outside, I was like, "Yeah, outside would be great, fantastic." Take all my details. I have to fill in some stuff, and it comes through all confirmed. And la-di-da. So we all go to the pub, quite excited on there was talks in the group chat about what we were going to wear.
I was really excited because even though we discussed previously in here how we weren't we weren't like we need to get back to the pub.
Nah,
you know,
we weren't
because it was a lockdown. But now I feel, now it's been a little bit out of lockdown. We've at least had the first one of our vaccination. I don't know if Ed has yet. We've had our first jabs. It just seemed like, what, the world's, I want to be part of this normal world again. I want to go. All I wanted to do on a gorgeous, it was fucking nice weather
really
that Saturday,
nice.
Just go sit in a pub garden with a pint and my mates and just enjoy being there for the 3 allocated hours we're allowed to.
We're just like, we could do a lot of damage in 3 hours.
And I was really generally excited for it.
I was well up for it.
This is going to be good.
I was well up for it. And so we got there all excited. I literally was about 2 minutes behind you as we got there. And we bowl in and we're just like, hi, we got a reservation.
Probably worth mentioning, because this is going to play into it later, that on the way there, I met Ed in Surbitons and we walked up to Wagon Horses. Like we saw some random fight almost break out. It looked like a guy in a high-vis jacket and his backpack was just finishing work, and this really weird skinny dude ran over to him. I don't know what he said, but it just looked like he said something to him, and they both started squaring up to each other, started pushing each other. Then they stepped in the middle of the road, and the cars couldn't get past. And then the other guy, the skinny guy, started the fight, just turned and ran off. And then the guy in the high vis was like, "Fuck's sake!" Like really pissed off, walked off. The guy that started the fight started coming back over. I was like, "Hey, let's just get over to the pub."
Yeah.
Because this guy just looked smashed. Everyone, to be fair, that Saturday that I saw, because it was a gorgeous sunny day.
Yeah.
Pubs have been open. It was Champions League that night. So
God, yeah, it was. Wasn't
so
it?
everyone was up for it, and there were just a lot more drunk people around. I mean, it's England, so it's, a bit of sun comes out. It's crazy.
It was like
when it's a day like that, it's pretty. Everyone's just like yes. There was a lot of drunk people around, and especially like for some reason that part of Surbiton, people just seem to be kicking off and starting trouble. So yeah, we saw that before we even got in the pub.
But also, it was the bank holiday fucking weekend, wasn't it?
Bank holiday weekend, yeah.
So it was just this massive culmination of shit. It was a real like it's coming home. Fucking 20.
Yeah.
20 fucking 16 or 2018, whatever the fucking World Cup was, and it was just like it was that proper, just like it was just one of them days where everyone's just fucking having a great time. And we were about to, because we got there and I was like, I've got a table under Joe Jackson, and the guy goes and searches and he's just like, nope, there's nothing here. I was just like, oh. I was just like, it's just never easy, is it?
And before you arrived, me and Ed walked up the side alley to look into the back gate to see how busy it was, and it was busy.
Yeah.
So I actually said to Ed, "Oh, thank God, we've got a table booked." Like,
Thank God Joe was so organised. Well,
I mean, you were. This isn't on you. This is not on you at all.
So the guy didn't see my name there, and I was just like, yeah, JOE, because I remembered like when I booked it, the guy put JO, and I was like, oh, it's got an E on it.
Or when you and Ed booked a table before and they put you down as Evan J rather than Ed and Joe.
Yeah.
Evan J. I mean, weird you both put Ed and Joe anyway.
I'm starting to think I should have booked it under Evan J.
Returning customer.
So the guy checks again and he's just like, well, no, there's not a Joe Jackson at 6:30. There's a Joe Jackson at 4:30. You should have arrived then. I was just like, Now the guy checking this booking was not the guy that took the booking.
No.
And he was just like, oh yeah, it says 4:30. You should have got here 2 hours ago. I was just like, right. Well, I booked 6:30, and he says, well, it says 4:30 here. And I was just like, well, I said 6:30. And
at this point, the guy is being a bit of a prick as well now.
Yeah.
Unnecessarily so. We're not being.
I took the passive aggressive route.
Yes.
I was just like, well, I said 6:30, suggesting that you are incorrect. And he was just like, well, I can find you a table. And he does end up giving us a table that's inside.
Inside.
And basically just completely away from the rest of the pub.
Yeah.
And like
right, but by the toilets, and we only had 45 minutes on it.
Yeah, because someone else had booked it and they were turning up.
We went from 3 hours in the glorious sunshine to 45 minutes inside
with two fucking pints.
And it was just like, again, not your fault, but it was. I was really disheartened that I've been really looking forward to the outside.
Yeah, so was I, man.
beers, and then it was just inside, and we're right by the toilets, right by the doors, so you can see everyone kind of coming in, and you can see everyone else, queuing up and stuff, and everyone, oh, can we eat burgers? We need to burger. How's it work? And it really annoyed me because I was like, I know this is how it is, but I miss just being able to go to a pub and not have to worry about stuff like that.
100%. 100%.
It kind of ruined the experience of going back to being like, oh, this is shit, really.
I massively miss when I lived nearer to you guys. Not that I'm fucking miles away, but I'm or hours away and shit. But I just missed when I lived in Tolworth, and Ed would just be like, "You guys around? Do you fancy a bit of pub lunch?" And just be like, yeah, sweet. Don't worry, I've checked. I checked 3 days ago, and I've booked. I've had to give all my bank details over. It's not like that at all. So yeah, it was a bit of a dud. So we did have a couple of pints, and then we just kind of sort of decided, look, this is that no one was really coming over. It wasn't really consistent. I know they were busy and
there
stuff.
Was no app to order.
In no way am I having to go at the bar staff or anything like that.
Yeah.
It just we were just kind of sort of sat there, and it took a little while, and we were just you know what, this hasn't gone to plan. Should we just I think Ed was just should we just get pizzas and beers and go and sit in the park?
Yeah.
And we were all just that's outside. That sounds great. Let's do that.
Yeah. Yeah, because this wasn't, because we all sat there. We only had for the 45 minutes, and we're already well into that.
Yeah,
and
it was about a half hour.
When we actually got the second beer, we actually asked for the bill and the second beers together, just to get it done and get out, because it was just becoming long. The whole thing was just a fucking shambles.
Yeah, it was a frustrating one. The girls that did come over to take our orders and everything.
Oh yeah, again, I'm with you. Not the staff.
Sweet as a nut. But yeah, we just went out, and so yeah, we went and hung out in the park, and which was fucking great as well. It was because it was still nice and warm. There wasn't loads of people around. In fact, I don't think there were many people around at that point.
No, there weren't. Because I think the football was kicking off by then.
Yeah, so we just had we were just in the park, uninterrupted. Well,
found a good piss spot.
Found a great piss spot.
Yeah.
And just chatted some shit and listened to some music and had some beers and some pizza.
Yeah, it was good.
Mm-hmm. Until until Ed got the text, because the park we were in was literally across the road from Ed's flat, and I want to say for the record, and obviously this makes a story, but I was like, should we go to the other park, because we're not going to probably get bothered there. I also just
we're going to get bothered.
This is Act 2 of Saturday.
yeah, Act 2.
There's 3 acts to Saturday.
Sat down, and then Ed got a text from Sarah, because Ed lives across the road, so she could hear out the window.
Yeah, there's been frequent occasions where they've heard some commotions.
There's a lot of crazy people in Surbiton, and this guy is known as we know as Boombox Guy.
Boombox Guy,
because he pushes a bike, shouting along with a boombox hanging off the radio, hanging off
of music playing,
full blast. He's loud, he shouts a lot, and it was just then Sarah messaged Ed being like, "Yo, Boombox man's heading your way," and by this point he was literally already walking.
I remember Ed reading out the text, and just as he said that, I saw 2 people behind you and Ed, where you were sat on bikes, and I couldn't figure out who it was, and then I realised that one was just had this sound coming out of him, and I was like, oh, I think it's that guy.
There he is.
And then we were just we were all heads down, kind of, but still talking shit together. I sort of peeked up and I saw him go down the path, but then veer towards us, and I was just like, yeah, he's coming, yeah, he's definitely coming.
Sorry to interrupt your party.
Yeah, he came over, very, very well-spoken man. He asked us how we were and good evening. He said all the right things.
He turned the music off. He apologised and he turned his music off.
Yeah, because it was fucking loud, man.
Oh, it's like a full blast, man. It's insane. Weird. What even music was it? It was like techno or something.
Yeah, it was something. It was something that you would not expect this man to be listening to. But he'd come over and he does what any crazy person does and asks you for a cigarette. And I had 2 left in a pack, and then I had another pack, and I was just like, oh, if I just give him these 2, he's gonna be fucking knocked out by it, and he'll go. How wrong I was.
Can I give one to my friend?
That was it. I was just like, I gave him the pack with 2 inside, and he was just like, oh my god, are you sure? Oh, that is. Oh, that's so generous. Could I give one to my friend? And she's like, well, I've given them to you. Like, I mean, you can do what you want if you so please.
For those who remember the Mitchell and Webb look, that show, he's pretty much Sir Digby Chicken
Sir
Caesar.
Digby Chicken Caesar. Yeah.
Yeah.
He definitely. It was, what is it that one? There's one bit in it where a lady in the street gives him some money, and he's just like, write to my headquarters for compensation. But yeah, he was. I think he asked for a light or something like that, or I think he saw you smoking a rollie, and he was just like, I say, sir, is that by any chance is that marijuana you're smoking?
And I said no, and he went, he's a good liar, isn't he? And I was like, what?
Yeah.
No, you'd smell it. It was weed, man. Jesus.
That was the moment that I realised that me and Greg have met this man before, because me and Greg one time were having you're Greg.
I'm Greg, yeah.
Me and Ed were having beers in the same park, and we were just sitting there chatting shit for a bit, and then he came along, and again he was just like, I don't suppose you gentlemen have any marijuana on you, do you? And it's just like, no, do you?
No, were you selling?
Yeah, that was it was one of those times, Greg. We were just like, no, but do you know anyone who is?
But then, at the moment, it all sounds quite calm. We've gone to the park, we've sat down. This guy showed up. He's turned his music off. He's asked for a cigarette. We've given him one, and he's very grateful.
Yeah,
and it sounds all fine. But then it starts to turn a bit.
Takes a little twist.
I don't even know how it got on there at the moment. But he started talking about how he had been studying to be a surgeon.
That was the first thing he said. He said that he'd spent 27 years studying medicine and psychology.
I'm going to say at this point that I don't have any geese drops lined up for this.
No, this is pretty much one though.
One, it's like the third time ever it's happened. I don't have any geese drops, so we're just going pretty hard on everything this man said.
Yeah, very much so. We're gonna really dissect this for a good 20 minutes.
Joe did film a video, a snippet, which I did post on my Facebook. When this episode comes out, I'll put it on the Facebook page.
Yeah,
so you can go check out a little bit for yourselves.
Mm-hmm. I like that. That's a good idea.
Yeah.
So he'd said to us that because he wanted to be a brain surgeon, and that was great. That was useful information.
Oh, you were like, how long do you have to study for that? And he's like, 27 years.
Yeah. I was like, I was just like, why am I asking questions?
But that's where my favourite bit happened though, because you were like, 27 years. He was like, you have to study for 27 years. And we're like, oh, and then he went, yep. That's why my wife left me.
Oh my God.
And it was like, oh my God. And I was like, I'm looking at Ed. In fact, me and Ed were heads down, both texting Sarah.
The best description I can give for the listener to try and envision what he looked like is, do you know the bit in Seven where Brad Pitt's just realised that his wife's head's in a box and he really wants to shoot Kevin Spacey, but he's torn because he knows that if he does shoot him, the guy's Seven completes and it's all blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen Seven, spoilers, but fuck you if you haven't seen Seven.
Yeah.
And he's just there and he's just like, oh God, oh, and then he does that thing where he's like, like he does that is he did the exact crying face that like Brad Pitt was trying to like fight against, and it was but then he was just like, he's like, that's why my wife left me.
Yeah, it really went down.
And then he was just like...
And then he looks up like, and she took my 20 kids with her. 20 kids.
20
and I swear
kids.
He was like... I swear he said, I don't think they were all mine, but I never asked.
No, he said something about, I knew they were all mine because I tested them for GD or something. He said like these... I can't remember the fucking initials that he used. Green Day. I tested them for Green Day.
I tested them for Green Day. They liked it.
Yeah. But yeah, so that was
20 kids. I'm leaving. I'm taking my 20 kids with me. Come on, Steve, Francis, Jean, Johnny, Carly.
Go on, keep
Jess,
going.
Henry, Jordan,
Stratosphere,
Laura,
Membrane,
Val, Tommy,
IQ,
Emily, John. I might have already said John. Kim, Adam.
Nice.
Elizabeth,
Tracy,
Joe, Edward.
Nice.
Greg.
Oh, yeah,
I'm
scraping
surely
the
over
barrel now,
20
mate.
now.
Come on.
I'm
Come on.
surely over 20 now.
I wasn't counting. Sorry, was I supposed to
Oh,
count?
I was counting. I either did 15 or 25. No.
All right, I'll give it a go at the end of the show. Well, to play us out, here's Joe
That'll be
naming 20
exciting.
names. So yeah, it was at that point where he started talking, like where he fake cried, realised he wasn't winning an Oscar from us, and then sort of. And then he said about his 20 kids, and I was like, okay, well, I've got to start recording this, really, haven't I?
Yes.
And then that's when he was chatting some shit, and then he was just like, yeah, it's all just that's exactly what I'm on about. Actually, I'm actually out here. The reason I'm out. Oh no, that was it. He was he just told us that 4 policemen had beaten him to the ground.
Which they had. Sarah said she saw it.
Well, yeah, weren't policemen. It was 4 men in Hawaiian shirts and
Oh,
one
right.
on crutches. So obviously,
Undercover CID.
yeah, obviously a CID. We'll get to CID in a minute. So he's like, yeah, he was chatting about that, and then he just sort of said, actually, I'm on the lookout for a murderer. I was like, okay, and he's just like, he is a small Somalian. Small
Egyptian.
Somalian Egyptian man, named called Alien.
He's very dangerous.
And he's just like, if you see a small Somalian, this is so Sir Digby Chicken Caesar at this point. It's
At this point it
ridiculous.
is, yeah.
Dun, 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 dun. Can you? But if you do put that video up, can you please put that in the background of him just going dun, 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 dun. In a world filled with greed and money.
So Digby Chicken Caesar.
So he says, yeah. So he's just like, so if you see a small Somalian Egyptian man named Alien, don't approach him because he is very dangerous.
Excuse me, you look small. Are you Somalian?
Yeah.
Are you Egyptian? Is your name Alien?
I played it back to people at work, and then I realised that I was just in it. I just say to him, like, okay, but he's small, yeah.
Yeah, you were pretty encouraging.
Yeah.
I mean, I had a few little chats
Yeah,
with him,
little
but
quips.
then I kept looking away.
Yeah. And then he said about that, and then he moved immediately on. And he was just like, oh, and by the way, the party tonight is down at Sid's. Do you know Sid? But near the Ram. You know.
And
right
you're like, yep.
Yeah. Because I thought Sid was a person.
You're like, yep, the party.
And I was just like, yeah. And I was just like, what is the percentage of chance that I might know someone called Sid, and he might be talking about the same person? It's a small percentage, Greg. I'm not going to lie to
It's
you.
very small.
It's about like 0.7. I know one Sid. And he wasn't that
Don't
Sid.
think I've ever known any Sids.
So he was just like, and then he's just like, to me, he's just like, do you know Sid? And I was just like, yeah, I know Sid. And he's just like, yeah, Criminal Investigation Department, CID. And I was just like, oh, right, okay. No, I don't know Sid.
Yeah. Oh, yes,
just
I'm with them.
He's just like, that's all they have to do is look out the window, and that's where they are. And then it's just like, all the 21-year-olds will be there because I invited them. That was a quote. I want that on a T-shirt. That was great. And then he's walking off, and it's just like, this needs to look out the window. And then he's just like, they do great work. And I was just like, I think all of us were just like, yep, because we thought he was leaving.
Because we were happy he was leaving. Then he started shouting.
And then he was just like,
you.
And then
I
before that,
love you.
no, but before that, he was just like,
Thank you for talking to me.
He was like, they work very hard. And they're just like, yeah. And then it's just like, no, they don't. They're a bunch of fucking wankers.
Did he call them cunts? I thought he called them cunts.
And then, yeah, he started shouting that he loved us. He thanked me for giving him cigarettes.
Then he started shouting that we were nice because we were British.
Yeah, and he's like,
Because
oh
you're
no, yeah,
British.
thank you for being,
We are the best.
thank you for being nice
We are
to
the
me.
best. Thank you for being nice. And then he started getting shouting, we are the best because, we're all British. And I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
it's weird.
I'm so glad he didn't mention Brexit.
No, well, yeah. Who knows? I don't know how much it affects him.
No, it's very true. But yeah, so that was a fun interaction on our side.
That was
I remember
strange.
afterwards as well. We were all just kind of sat there for a bit, and we're just like, so we all remember what he said, right? Like, yeah, that's
That was
what
long.
that covered.
I swear I was writing stuff down, but when I've looked at my phone, I don't know where I wrote it because I can't see it anywhere. like, I thought I'd written. So I remember saying to you, "I've got this one written down." Like, and then you were like, "Oh, I filmed it."
Yeah. Got away
But,
with it. Got away with it. So we had
yeah.
It's been a fun whole week, isn't it?
That was a weird. Yeah, it was a weird exchange from what we had planned, sitting in the beer gardens and then sitting in the park with some random
it really
dude
backfired.
just being fucking weird.
Yeah.
And it was fucking weird. He was,
but you know,
really
like I think
off.
it was okay though, because he wasn't aggressive. Like, I mean, I know he shouted a little bit, but like he wasn't in no way showed aggression towards us.
No, only because I think we were quite nice to him. Like, I'm not saying he would have been aggressive, but if Ed had been dealing with him, it might have been a
God,
different
could you imagine if
situation.
we actually had weed and he's
Well, then there you go. Yeah. So then that carried on. Ed left after he kind of had his pizza and drinks. So he went home.
Yeah, we kind of all sort of like made our way around like 9:30, 10 o'clock, something like that.
And then I sat with you for a bit, and then I headed back, and I had hiccups really bad. That's pretty much when I was like, well, I might as well go home because I have hiccups now.
Oh, also, you and me got those passion fruit mixers in a can. Or was it like
that
passion
tasted
fruit fucking martinis or some shit.
Yeah, and
I had mine. I was like, oh, this ain't bad, you know. And then you literally opened yours and were just like, it tastes like BO.
It did taste like BO. It did taste like BO.
It really put me off mine, and I was like
BO.
I was drinking mine whilst you said it. I was just like, oh,
right.
I was enjoying that.
And so then I started getting really bad hiccups, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna make a move as well. So we
that
start.
Shit off, son.
So we get up, say goodbye. Joe heads his way. I head towards the bus stop, and again I'm at the bus and I've got really bad hiccups. They're really annoying. They're really loud. I'm just like. Ugh. Not it's not like every 2 seconds, but when you think they've passed, you go, again.
Yeah.
Anyway, there was a dude at the bus stop with his wife. I think his wife. He was probably
Don't call him a dude and give him some sort of respectful
He
title.
was probably.
He was an
I
old
reckon
prick. He was an old fucking prick, Greg.
He was probably in like his mid to late 50s.
No, you know exactly how old he was because he fucking told you.
Oh yeah, I do know how old he was. He was 60. Yeah, of course, he was 60 years old. And he was with I've mentioned his wife, and it looked like they were having their first night out in a while as well, because they were really dressed up. You could tell even though he was in like jeans and a short sleeve shirt, but it was like a nice pattern. It looked like his good going out short sleeve shirt.
One of his finest Ben Shermans.
Yeah, it looked like one of his good going out ones. You know, really red in the face.
One of his Ralph Lauren's.
Really red in the face, grey hair. They were at the bus stop, him and this woman. I arrived. It was just us there. I was hiccuping. And he kept looking at me. And after a while, I could see he was like getting pissed off with me. And I was like, fuck's sake. So I kind of, and then he kind of, I swear I heard him tell me to shut the fuck up. But I couldn't really tell. So I did that thing where I turned my music off, but get my headphones on.
Act 3.
Just so I could be aware of what was happening.
Yeah.
And he literally just started coming up to me and was like, fucking stop hiccuping. I'm just like, what? He's
I
like,
think
he's
that
pissing him off.
That is the most outrageous request ever made by a human being.
He said it was pissing him off. And he was so fucking drunk. I was just like, okay. And then he literally was just like in my face, like he was going to hit me. Just like, I'm 60 years old and I can still beat your ass. Like we're on fucking Jerry Springer or something.
I can't believe these things happen to you.
And I'm literally texting Ed from the bus stop, being like,
I swear to God, none of us actually realise we are on like a Truman Show, being watched on a completely different fucking planet somewhere. And you're in it. You are literally the main fucking character. You are like.
I'm literally texting Ed, being like, yo, if you're hearing shouting outside your flat, there's a dude started on me. Kind of hoping he would look out and see and maybe shout something. Bearing in mind, last time I was at this bus stop, I saw that drunk guy ride into the bin.
I love it, mate.
It's an eventful bus
they need
stop.
A constant live feed of that bus stop because it is.
But
so
he
lively.
was just wanted me to stop it, and his missus didn't really say anything, which is annoying me. Because I was like, "Are you not going to tell your man to shut the fuck up?"
Mate, I would have leaned over and just be like, "Look, I'm going to slap this guy if he doesn't get out of my face."
She was like over by the bus stop. I was like in that little doorway bit to that computer shop, so I was he had to walk over to me.
That's fucking
And,
ridiculous.
yeah,
I
and he's
think
shouting.
that entire thing is bullshit, man. Asking you to like I don't give a fuck who you are. Hiccups are out of your control, man.
Yeah, I know, yeah. Trying to master me, saying it's annoying him. It's annoying me, mate, too, but I'm not going to fucking start a fight with
Just be
myself
like,
over
mate,
it.
I'm annoyed that you're 60 years old and still exist. Like,
Well, I didn't really respond.
do something about it.
I kind of kept my headphones on and just kept looking away from him, which was pissing him off even more.
Good.
Because I was having that thing in my head of, is he going to hit me? And I'm like, should I push him
And
away
if he
from
does, what do you do?
Because I'm well within my rights to push this guy away.
Yeah,
He's
fucking
literally
right.
in my personal space. He's not got a mask on. I have. Like,
Mate,
he's
if he
literally
swings
right in
on
my
you
face.
first, if he swings on you first, you push.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Whatever
Yeah, I would.
happens to him during that push is out of
Yeah.
it's not up to you.
I know, I agree. But I was like, but I was debating, do I physically move him away from me first? And I'm like, I don't want to, because I'm like, he's 60 years old, but he looks like
Mate,
he's
that's
older.
the thing. That's the
'cause
fucking
60's
thing, mate.
not old, you know. But like he was so red in the face.
Yeah.
Like, and you could hear his breath. Like, I'm just like, I don't want him to have a heart attack. I don't want to
Yeah.
like pit him,
Mate,
and then
you
I
would
get
be,
done
mate,
punching
imagine
some
that.
old dude.
The fucking world slightly goes back to normal. Old man gets beaten up at a fucking bus stop. You don't
Yeah,
get the
yeah,
entire
yeah,
story.
yeah,
The media's
exactly.
just going to hear that, and you're going to be
Exactly,
a
yeah.
fucking dead man.
Anyway,
Bullshit to that.
then 71 came, and I'm like, please, I hope he's not. No, it's a 71 and a 465 were both coming up the road, and
Yeah.
I was like, please don't be getting the same bus as me, and I can get either of those buses.
Yeah.
The 465 is a little bit more of a walk, but it's fine. So I was like, right, wherever bus they get on, I'm not getting on. Luckily, he got on. His missus was like, come on, and he was like, ugh, went and got on the 465.
Yeah.
Put his arm around her, looking back at me.
Mate, you should have been like, yeah, that's right. Listen to your wife.
And then he got on the 465, I got on the 71, and
you
that
go.
was it. It never really escalated.
And
or
if
anything.
you
I
like,
just-
which
I think he was just trying to impress her.
I feel
I
like
don't even know if it was his wife, to be fair. Just
I
the
feel like
woman
if
he was
the
with.
if the 465 like left first before the 71 and he went past, you should have just given the fucking finger.
Yeah,
like,
yeah. Yeah, so it was a weird end. It was a weird day. I got home and Lizzie was like, "Did you have a nice night?" I was like, "I mean, I did, but it
Yeah.
wasn't what I wanted it to be." And I
Yeah.
explained, we were meant to have this. We ended up sitting aside in the pub. A crazy man who was hunting a murderer stopped us in the park. And then another old man said he could beat my ass, even though he was still 60 years old and got all in my face. Like, it was just a weird...
Dude,
And
just-
also, me and Ed saw that fight almost kick off before. We saw the
Yeah.
guy when we left Wagon
Eventful.
Horses walking ahead of us, and he literally,
Eventful.
his ass was like hanging out the back of his
Oh,
jeans.
we did, didn't we?
And I
Yeah, that guy-
don't mean like how we wear low trousers. I mean literally
No.
his bare ass was like hanging
literally,
out the
no
back.
pants. That guy was wearing
Like, it
no
was-
pants.
It was a lot of weird drunk people around that day.
It was so fucking strange. But then, didn't we see them afterwards? And it was them two
Yeah.
back together. Like they were like.
No,
it
the
was
guy who
was
he
the
was
same
with
guy, but-
wasn't
yeah,
the guy start. The guy there started the fight, but not the guy he started on.
I loved that you made it into a Facebook status, and everyone like people came on. I think Pete. I think my favourite one from the whole messages put on there was Pete from Swearwolves just wrote, "The world is healing."
Yeah. What's taken us pretty much 35 minutes to talk about,
Yeah.
I put into quite a large Facebook status, and just be like, maybe the world is getting back to normal. Like,
Oh god, it was so
a
bizarre.
lot of
But you know
comments,
what? I enjoyed every fucking minute of it. It was great. It was
oh
such
yeah,
a
it
good
was
night
it
out.
was good. So,
And then, but
then-
also, like literally the other day, we booked up the Grove and went out. We actually had an
we tried
actual
again.
night in the pub.
We tried again. We tried the Grove this time in Surbiton because Ed just messaged out the blue saying that I'm going to try. Booked it online. So we
I
had
was
it from
off the
what-
next
we
day,
only
so I
had it
was
for 2
game.
hours. So we had it from 2 hours from 6:30. But again, I was a bit nervous at first because we get there. There's a queue to get in. People aren't booked. It's taking a while. We've got it from 6 to 6:30 to 8:30. And by the time we actually get in, get sorted out, get sat down, get the app, go on their website, order our drink, and then you order it, and it's like, your drink will be here in 15 minutes. And by the time your drink comes, by the time you've actually sat down
But,
and
like,
got
also-
your first beer, you're almost 45 minutes into
Yeah.
your 2 hours. And
but
I'm
also,
just
like you have to re-put in your information to get a second round and shit. Like it wasn't.
well,
like,
I
saved
didn't.
on-
I
didn't.
think so. I left it open on my phone, just went back. It was fine. Although it did make me have to put in my
touche,
card
right.
information. But then I was like, fuck, man, we're at 45 minutes, whatever, into our 2 hours, and we've only just got our first drink after
Yeah.
queuing up to get in. And I was like, this. And I was getting a bit pissy then, but then actually it was okay, and we ended up having some food. We ordered like 2 drinks at a go the next time.
That's
And
what
then
I
when
did the first round, mate. I was like, I'm getting 2
Yeah.
because I know this ain't going to be fucking easy.
And then they didn't actually ask us to leave when the 2 hours are up either.
That was
So we
great.
eventually did get to have a good night in the pub.
Yeah.
It just, took a while.
Yeah, it's all right. We got there in the end.
But we got there. Still, I still prefer, like, I'm looking forward to hopefully the days that we can just go into a pub and sit down.
Do you, I can't see it happening, but do you reckon you'd maybe consider going out and watch one of the games of the Euros? Because Ed, that's the thing. Like Ed was so fucking bang on it when the World Cup was on. He was like, "Do you guys want to go to the pub and watch?" I was like,
I'd like
"Fuck
to,
yes."
but I don't know how it's going to be very hard to book for that.
Yeah.
But Ed's like, you just have to put your TV in your back door and we'll go in your garden, Greg.
He's got a point, mate. He's got a point.
Good to that. That's what Kelly and Adam did when I went round theirs to watch the World Cup once. He literally brought the TV out into the garden. It was awesome.
Awesome. That is great.
Although I wouldn't trust Indiana around. Don't knock that fucking TV over. So yeah, we got to a pub in the end. That was an epic tale.
Yes, it was great. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, I did as well. It was a good tale to share, and I'm glad we managed to get to a pub and have a.
It's been an eventful couple of weeks for us, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has been eventful.
Feels like, injections.
Yeah, ejections, and obviously last episode I told you guys I was going to have the colonoscopy, and I was very nervous and worried about it. I've obviously since had it. Also, thanks to those who did message me after listening to the episode to ask if I was all right. I am okay. Who messaged me? Was it Reese? Someone messaged me asking if I was all right. I must have been drunk. I swear I replied. I swear they caught me and I swear I simply replied to someone saying, "No, I died."
You're such a piece of shit.
And I think I just left it at that. No,
They didn't respond after that. They started phoning
he died.
you.
Did you hear Greg died? He just told me he died. I didn't realise.
He then messages me and I'm just sat right next to you. I'm like,
Oh, he's next to me.
what the fuck?
So, yeah, I shared with you guys, obviously, last time that, last year I was diagnosed with Lynch syndrome, blah, 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 bowel cancer, blah, blah, blah. That's not like a single song then, bow,
Previously on Greg's body.
So after a long time, I finally got booked in for this colonoscopy. I was really nervous about it because it's been a long time, and I was scared to find out if I had cancer in my bowels.
Mate, understandable, mate. That is a
Been a very scared. Even though I act all tough, maybe not tough, but I act all jolly. It's been in Greg's head. It's been a tough year.
Yeah.
And not even just a lockdown, just because
Let
of
it
all
out,
this
man.
stuff.
Fuck this.
Like in my head, it's
Let
been
it
a tough
out.
year. So I was very nervous about this happening, and obviously when I spoke to you guys before, last time we recorded, I was saying, what day did we record that day? So I'd already been to
Wednesday.
hospital and picked up my laxatives, and I'd already got everything I needed.
Yeah.
So I'm on my liquid diet. It's now on Thursday. Thursday's the day it's happening. So Wednesday night, I have to take the first round of laxatives at 7 p.m. Right, so I've got this, and it's a litre. I think it's like 1.5 litres. Mm-hmm. So I've got this big old jug that I borrowed off Liz's mum because we didn't have anything that big. Pour in fill it with water.
I don't know why
rip
that's
open
funny.
this mixture.
I don't know why that's funny.
There's like 2 things I have to add to it. And I went, right, mix it all up. And then I have to pour myself a full glass every 15 minutes and drink it until it's all gone. So I'd got through, and it tasted kind of like lemon, but not very nice. Like I literally
that limoncello.
Yeah, not even that. It does say you can add ice or squash, but it's lemon flavoured. So adding squash, I think, would just be weird. But
Orange and lemon's all right. That's a good
I
combination.
guess so. But I would like drink a bit of it, and I was like, ugh, but I just necked it. I wanted to get it done. I got through it. So it's been like, an hour and 15 minutes. It took me to kind of get through the whole thing, maybe about an hour to get through the whole thing. 1 glass through 15 minutes, and I had nothing had happened yet. So my stomach, nothing had gone. I sat on the sofa, but I'm like, is it happening? Is it happening? Do I need a poo? No, not yet. Okay. Eventually went upstairs.
Can I just say as well, once you started taking your laxatives, you started basically live texting to me and Ed in the group chat, which was fucking just fantastic. I remember telling my mum about what was coming through, and she pissed herself laughing. Man. It was so fucking funny.
And then I went and it seemed all kind of normal. I was like, all right, came back, sat down, and then after about 10-20 minutes after a normal poo, I was like, okay, Lizzie, I think it's happening now. And I ran upstairs, and again, it was kind of a normal-ish sort of poo. Came back downstairs, and then this was a time when I was like, oh, nope, and I had to run upstairs.
Yeah.
Got there, and it was like, I was shitting, and it's going to get pretty disgusting here, listeners. You're used to it. Shit, and then it's like, when you turn on a tap, and it kind of goes from like, you know when the water runs, and it's like, but then if you you leave it on for a while, it goes from shh to it like ups a level. Yeah, you leave the tap running for a while, it kind of ups a level, goes from like start shh. That happened. All of a sudden, it was like someone flicked a switch, and it just sounded like a hose was going out of my arsehole. And I was like, oh, this is a bit full on. Okay. All right, that's finished. Right, not too bad. Back downstairs. And then from then on, whenever I had to run upstairs, I was literally like I was shitting piss. Like, it just felt like water was coming out of me, but at a fast, heavy pace.
I've just found like the part of the group chat here where you were like messaging us, and this is, I can tell you this now.
We go over to Joe live for the Greg for the Greg laxative of Wednesday night.
I'll get from the best bit is this. He goes, this is all within the space of 1 minute, by the way. 3 glasses in, feel like a poo is coming. Stomach real bloated. I just text back and say, close your eyes and think of Blighty. And then you're just like, well, it's all been drunk. Nothing happened yet. That was 9 minutes past 8. Literally 5 minutes later, he just sends a poo emoji with, so it begins. 1 minute later.
At that point, it was all right. It wasn't too bad then.
Yeah, well, you say that, but 1 minute later, you were like, God damn. And then 20 minutes later,
now we're talking.
It feels like I'm pissing out of my arsehole.
It did feel like that. It literally was. But like one of those thick, heavy, I really need a pisses.
Wait, so that was 25 to 9. 9:15. My God. To which I responded with, what year is this? And Greg says at 16 minutes past 9, feel like my arse has hit 88 miles per hour. My arse has been making it rain for 20 minutes straight. I simply wrote back, man, that stuff is making you shit out stuff from last week. And you responded with, mate, I'm shitting out stuff from next week now. Oh, God. It was so funny. You were just going through. And then the next message was quarter to 7.
Good humour, Greg.
Quarter to 7 in the morning on Thursday. I can't believe I've got to drink another litre of laxative mixture again in 15 minutes.
Yeah. So, but it got to the point where it was
from laughing.
It was just piss. It was. But the thing is, honestly, I'd get on the toilet. It would come out like water. Get up, look in the toilet. It literally looked like I'd just taken a piss. Like it was so weird. Then but then it all kind of leveled out around sort of like 10 o'clock. I went to bed, and then I woke up at 3:30 needing a piss. Went into the bathroom, ended up doing another water shit, and then went back to bed, and then woke up in the morning to do the next one. Got up straight to the toilet, another water shit, and then I had to prepare the next. I had to take the next round of laxatives at 7 a.m. So I had to do it all again, and it wasn't as bad as the night before. Most of it had been cleared out of me, but it was still,
it's like a whole process. It's a process, isn't it?
I wasn't allowed to eat anything, so So then I go do the next round in the
Mate,
morning.
I bet what came out of you that morning was clearer than Evian water.
Oh, it was, man. I could have fucking bottled it and sold it.
Fucking filtered.
It was
Like a Brita filter in your ass.
Yeah, it was pretty full on. Had a good old, so that went on for, I was a bit worried it wasn't going to stop, but it did. Because Lizzie's dad was taking me to the hospital for it, so I was so scared I was going to shit myself in his car.
Yeah. That's
so
mate, that is an anxious moment.
My appointment was at 2:05 that day. So I went over to Lizzie's parents before then. Bearing in mind, I'm not allowed to eat, and I've had 2 rounds of these laxatives, so I am empty.
Yeah.
And I've got nothing in me. And I remember walking to Lizzie's parents. I remember feeling so light, like really light, but I was also so fucked. I just had no energy. Like I just couldn't really move. And I'm like, oh, I'm not up for what's about to be happening.
Yeah, man.
Like I just don't have it in me, man. Like I've got nothing left. I get to the hospital. And I'm really scared. I'm really nervous because I'm like, right, this is the moment I've been building up in my head for the last year. It's finally happening. And they were all really nice there. I got there early as well. I was there like 20 to 2.
Yeah.
And I kind of went in and was like, hi, look, I know I'm early. She's like, oh, take a seat. I was literally called in straight away. Give them my own little room. And then I had to answer these questions, sign the consent form, meet about 3 different doctors who taught me through what was going to happen. All getting really nice. Then I had to put on my dignity pants.
I've forgotten about them. My fucking head hurts. Right?
Then what I thought, I was expecting like little tiny like trunks, but they
like
weren't.
Speedos.
They're more like Bridget Jones diary style aunties bloomers.
Yeah,
pants.
well, mate, they've got to hold a lot of dignity, mate. So
yeah, that's right. But they're made out of like net curtains, but they're blue.
Oh god!
So they kind of go from just above my knee to my waist. With a massive. She's like, they've got a big hole in the back for the bum, like a big slit down the bum. So I put that on. I put on the hospital gown, tie it all up. So that's it. I'm now ready.
Yeah.
Sit around, and that's the longest part when I'm just waiting. One woman comes in, takes the bed. She's like, "This is your bed, and you'll come back in this." I'm like, "Okay." She takes it out, and I'm like, "Right." Then the other woman comes in. Right, we're gonna walk you in. And you get in there, and it's like there's a couple of guys in there and a woman, and they're like, "Right, Greg, get on the table." And I was like, I don't really want to see it, the screen, but there's a massive screen on the ceiling hanging over you, and then there's like a laptop propped up next to me, so I'm like, oh, I can see.
Well, I'm seeing it. Did you see? Wait. Did you see your asshole on the screen?
Oh,
like,
yeah, man.
Really?
Yeah.
No. But
Oh,
no, what? Like the outside?
Yeah.
Sick.
Oh yeah. I really thought maybe they were going to like wax it or shave it or something, but they didn't.
No, it didn't get like a little landing
maybe
strip.
They thought the same about me. But yeah, I get in there and I lay on the
They're just
bed.
like, can you believe this guy asked us to shave him?
And then came the words that I was a bit nervous about. Because I was like, how do I lay? Then it was like, right, Greg, can you just lay on your side and put your knees up like against your chest? And I was like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Okay. And then we talked. He's like, right, do you want gas or sedative? And I'm like, oh, sedative.
Was that you to him?
Yeah. Fire! Yeah. Put your legs by your chest. Do you want gas? But I had to sign for that, and they had to take Lizzie's dad's number to call to make sure he came to pick me up.
So you weren't sedated. You were just kind of under.
Yeah, they put the cannula in me, and then they put the sedation in me. And he said to me, "It's gonna feel like you've had a couple of glasses of wine." And I was like, "Oh, is that it? Okay."
That's a good feeling. That's a great feeling.
It's quite nice. It's quite nice. Anyway, he injected it into my arm, and I literally was like, "Oh, that hits quick." And he's
yes,
like,
I've just injected an entire bottle of wine into your vein.
Yes, I'm Dr. Beth with 2 bottles of wine. So, our friend Beth likes a couple of bottle of wine to warm up,
mate. You know what? Shout outs to Beth. I saw she's just been nominated as like the Younger Designer Awards.
Yeah, junior.
Mate,
was it Junior Children's Wear Award? Isn't it? Yeah.
Go on,
awesome.
2 bottles.
Yeah, good fucking honour. So yeah, and then I felt a bit woozy, and then he's like, right, we're going in, and I was like, okay, and you can feel it, like I can feel there's something going up my arse, but it's not really painful, it's not really big. What is uncomfortable is that they inflate your intestines to make them bigger.
Yeah,
camera
the
through.
bloating.
That I feel there, and sometimes it builds up for a while. And I was after a bit of time being like, oh, and he's like, okay, go all right, mate, you suffering? I was like, yeah, and they kind of hit like a deflate button, and it's like, shh, oh my god.
Yeah.
But then they have to start building it up again. But there are a point where it's like, right, can you lay on your back? So I'm actually laying on my back with my knees up, not up in the air, just my feet's flat on the bed.
Yeah.
But now I'm facing them, and they're still shoved, like feeding it up my arse.
And the doctor spread my legs.
It's weird, that moment.
Yeah.
You shouldn't. I don't feel like I should see them. And I'm looking at, and I'm looking up at the screen, and I'm like, oh, there's everything inside. There's my insides.
Yeah.
That's weird. There's my insides. That's bizarre. And then, so I was like waiting. Because I'd convinced myself that there was going to be full of bowel cancer, and it probably spread to my balls and my stomach. But he hadn't said anything yet. So we found a polyp, which is pretty normal. It's okay. There was one that was 2 millimeters. He cut that out of me. Then we get to, then I hear him be a bit like, ooh, and I'm like, oh god, here we go. And I look up and I can see this thing. It's quite big, and I'm like, that looks big. And he's like, yes.
Did he say like how big it was?
It was 30 millimeters, so 3 centimeters.
Oh damn.
I'm pretty sure I sent you a picture of it.
Yeah, no, you did, but I just couldn't judge like the size of it.
Yeah. And then he's like, that's what I sent Ed and Joe that picture.
Yeah, yeah. Greg sent us pictures of the inside of his asshole.
Yeah, man, because they sent me back with like all the paperwork, and it had all pictures of in the printout.
Can I actually just point out, fuck everyone else's friendships until you're doing that. Until you're doing that, fuck you and your friendships and every single one of them. If you're not sending pictures of your asshole to your friend.
So, and it's so weird because as that's like a camera's going through, and I can see there's lots of nooks and crannies in there. It'll kind of like go around a corner, and I'll see like a puddle of like the piss shit I was pissing out the morning. And I'm like, oh god, I'm sorry that's there. Oh, sorry about the mess. Like, and he's like, it's okay. Like, this is clean.
Yeah.
Like, trust me, this is clean.
You sound like you're. Sound like you're expecting your landlord for a visit.
Yeah, sorry about the mess. And he was like, no, this is clean. I'm like, oh, okay.
Sick.
He actually said I had a very healthy looking large intestine.
Well, yeah. I mean, you do 40 shits a month. I mean,
it's true. Anyway, they found this growth.
A week.
And he couldn't.
Be honest,
Yeah, a week. He couldn't figure out whether it was one big polyp, loads of little ones, or another. Basically, he found this large growth.
Yeah.
And it concerned him, and he couldn't get it out. I didn't expect him to remove it. When he said, if we find anything the right size, we can remove it. And I'm like, okay, thinking I'd be taken to surgery. But no, like a razor sharp, like lasso, like shoots out the front of the camera.
Yeah.
And like wraps around the growth and then just slices it out of you.
That's fucking nuts, mate.
Which blew my mind when I saw that shit go.
And they were like, and how did they like retrieve it from inside you? Or did you just shit out?
Yeah. No, I was thought they was going to leave it there. I don't understand. But the big one, because I had multiple people now come into the room. He wanted opinions on how he was going to get this out of me.
Nah, mate.
And every time people
that's
come
his OnlyFans fucking subscribers coming in and looking inside your arsehole.
I'm back on my side, so my arsehole's just like facing the door. And people come in, and there's like 2 guys and a woman come in, and the guy's like, everyone, this is Greg. And they were like, hello, Greg, nice to meet you. And I'm like, hi,
that is a weird time to be shaking hands with people, man.
Oh, I didn't shake hands, but like, they almost be trained to say the same thing.
You did the elbow.
Yeah, all our boys, spud. Because all 3 of them were like, hi, Greg, nice to meet you. Like, they all said it one at a time. It was like weird. And I'm like, yeah, you too.
Mate, that's just their like bedside courtesy, though.
Yeah. But then he's basically just like, look, this
hello,
is
Greg,
big.
lovely arsehole. Yes.
And the discussion was, can he get this out of me now, or do they need to put me in for a separate surgery to try and get it out? One guy was like, I reckon you can get it, and it took him I was there a while. I was in there. They said it takes about half hour, the procedure. I was probably in there about an hour.
Basically, that is doctors playing the grabby machine at an arcade. That's what that is.
Pretty much, yeah. He was just trying to, and things eventually.
And his mate's taking him on. Go on, mate. Oh, go on, Steve. Go on, Steve.
Yeah. Go on. Eventually, he kind of gets it, but then I can see like the floor, I guess, that he cut it out from. Like
the floor, the walls,
the wall. But it's like all. I mean, it looks pretty sliced up, and I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, that doesn't look great. And he was like, he kept going back to it and digging into it more, like.
Right. Well, yeah. I mean,
I'm
I guess
like,
he wants to
okay.
retrieve as much of
I
the
guess
growth
so,
as
yeah.
possible. Because
Anyway, eventually he's like, right, we're all done. He's like, we're going to send this away. They can't say it. It was hinted at that it looked like this was the beginning of it becoming something else, but he's going to send it away and find out because it was quite big. So I don't know when I find out whether it was what it was, whether it was just a polyp or if it was the beginnings of bowel cancer. I don't know.
Yeah.
But he's going to send it off, and he had it in a jar. Which to answer your question, I didn't see him retrieve. I thought it was just going to be in me. I was scared about shitting out.
He's like, one for the collection.
But yeah, he literally had it in a jar next to me, like a little pot thing, and I'm like, oh fuck, he got it out. Gee, yes, he has
Maniac.
it.
Oh dear.
Takes the camera out of me, and then I'm taken into another room. The bed's wheeled into the room with me in it, and I'm like, I can't fucking move. I feel like shit.
Yeah.
And they brought me coffee and some jammy dodgers, which is nice because obviously I hadn't eaten since like 5:30 the night before, and obviously had all those laxatives, so I am proper empty at this point. So I really loved that coffee and jammy dodgers.
Yeah, I bet, mate.
But then I kind of like I left feeling quite positive. I was like, I went in, they didn't tell me I had this, they didn't tell me I had 2 hours to live.
Yeah. There wasn't a particular moment where the doctor was like, oh my god.
Yeah, they found 2 things, they cut them out of me. I was then meant to go on to having this done every 2 years so they can catch it when it starts. But I'm actually having another one in 3 months' time because they obviously want to recheck the one he removed from me.
Well, no, you've got to do
sense.
that. I mean, it's for something like that, and especially if they remove stuff, it is probably best to do it within that sort of time.
Oh, I agree. Yeah. So, but at least the next time I'll know what to expect.
You know what, mate? Start sticking fingers up your ass now to get used to it.
Yeah, well, get used to it. So yeah, I was told I had to be I had to be looked after for 24 hours. I couldn't work, couldn't this. I was actually okay.
Yeah.
I did feel all right.
But it's like a precaution sort of thing, isn't it?
Yeah, I was a bit dizzy here and there, but I think that was more from hunger.
Yeah.
I did feel a little bit rough, but I felt fine. And then kind of updated you guys on what had happened, and when my mum came
I love
round
the
the next...
selfies you sent of you in the gown, just thumbs up,
Yeah.
this is happening.
I didn't realise how much that thumb looked like my dick in that picture.
The last time I received selfies from you like that, you were about to have a child.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I think that's why I did it. I was joking that I was going to post it on Facebook and just check in the Kingston Hospital. And
Mate,
not say
you just
anything.
you got to do the shot of your wrist with the hospital band.
Oh
around
yeah,
it.
I did do those shots. I did take those shots.
I don't want to talk about it.
Obviously, I didn't.
Oh,
post
inbox me, hun. If you put that up, I would inbox you, hun, so fucking
that'd
bad.
be so
Oh
good.
my god, inbox me, hun.
Inbox me, hun. So yeah, I felt alright. I felt fine. I was pretty positive about the whole thing. When Mum came round the next morning to take a look to see how I was and stuff, she'd just been hospital herself. She came round and she's like, "Oh, let me see your paperwork." And then she's like, "Oh, you got photos." Like she never had. Cause my mum's obviously because my mum has had bowel cancer more than once before.
Yeah,
she's had these done loads, and she's like, "I've never got photos of mine. Look, Steve, look." And Dad's like, "Oh yeah, it's very nice."
Oh yeah, what a lovely bowel you have.
Yeah, what a lovely bowel you have.
No, sir, that's your bowling.
Oh, they're better for shitting, my dear.
I don't remember writing a check for bowling.
So that was Thursday. I felt all right Friday. I felt fine Saturday, but Saturday is the day we obviously went to the pub and stuff.
Yeah.
But I was pushing my coming out anyway, to be honest with you. But that day I mowed the lawn, and there was a few bits where I was like, God, this is really tough, this grass. There was a few moments I was pushing, then I did feel like a sharp pain inside, and I'd be like, oh God. And Lizzie would be like, God, Greg, you're right. I'm like, yeah, I'm fine, just bitch. She's like, remember you had something cut out of your intestine a couple of days ago.
Really
anyway,
puts things into perspective, that, doesn't it?
Yeah. I think I must have pulled something there, because I was in a bit of pain. And then, what day was it? So that was, I had the colonoscopy on Thursday.
Yeah.
And then on Tuesday, 10 o'clock in the morning, I got up in the morning, did a normal poo, went downstairs, and then I was like, God, I feel like I need another poo.
The all
That's
pooing
weird.
guys. That's what
And
we're renaming
upstairs,
ourselves.
and I went upstairs, sat in the toilet, and it was just like a fart in the bowl, And I was like, oh, okay. But then I got up, and it was just blood.
Oh my God.
I did take a picture of it, but I thought it might have freaked Ed out if I sent it.
Oh, just Ed?
Yeah, I thought you'd be alright with it.
Yeah, fair. I mean, I've sent. Oh, wait, hang on. Don't move that away yet. Oh God. Oh, there's a horrible chunk of fucking something on the. Oh,
Yep.
all right. Yeah, no,
I've just showed Joe the picture.
I mean, to be fair, I did.
Now
send
we've
you
upped
and Ed
the friendship
a video.
level. Now we've really upped the friendship.
I did. I mean, to be fair, I did send you and Ed a picture of me spitting out blood after the dentist. So I mean,
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
guess
it's
we're
just the
even
same
now.
thing, but my arse.
Yeah.
It did freak me out a little bit because then I was feeling a bit uncomfortable, and then every other poo I was doing the rest of the day was blood, or I was just farting and it was blood.
Yeah.
Blood farts, disgusting.
Blood farts. Oh yeah, because there was talk of us saying that's a great band name.
Yeah, well, I remember I wrote a song at school called Blood Fart.
Little did you know.
So yeah, I was freaking out a little bit, but then I did phone the hospital, and they were like, "Look, you can have delayed bleeding for up to 2 weeks."
Yeah.
Ain't you
It's a long
remember
time, man.
that they did cut? That I have got an open wound in my intestine,
Yeah, man. There's nothing
and
you
I
could really do
probably
about
had
that.
pulled something doing the gardening.
Internal bleeding
So
and shit.
after a couple of, I almost didn't come out for you guys to the Grove because I was like, oh, I don't know
I'm scared.
if I start farting blood in a pub, I'm fucked. Luckily by then
That's a great lyric though.
leveled.
Farting blood in a pub. Don't give me a hug.
It kind of leveled out. It kind of leveled out by then.
Yeah. No,
It kind of gone back to normal. But it was a terrifying ordeal. Like that afterwards started freaking because that night I'd been in bed and I'm convincing myself I can feel my stomach like feeling different, convincing myself my stomach was like filling up with blood or something horrible. Like kept thinking I was gonna cough it up. I was too scared to fart. I didn't. After that day when I did the blood fart at 10 in the morning, I didn't go to the toilet again the rest of the day.
Mate,
until the evening.
that shit will put you on edge, mate. That is
And then
understandable.
And it would be like fart, white blood. Oh, it's horrible. Sorry, everyone. You probably don't even want to know. You're like, we're not that close of friends of you, but you listen to the podcast. You get used to it.
Look forward to the artwork.
Yeah.
Oh dear. Well, no.
Yeah, but it was saying that. It was like seeing the camera up my bum. It was very much like that film in a space. It really was. Like I was in. Like I was Dennis Quaid, but I was also what's the other guy called?
Marty Short. Martin
Short. I was Marty Short and Dennis Quaid at the same time.
That's a terrible combination of people.
I was seeing the screen, and I was seeing from the camera's point of view of inside my arsehole myself, as if I was in there flying the little machine through
unforgettable
inner space, and the only way to get him out of there is to do the blood fart. That's what was happening. The blood fart was me getting them out.
I mean, the artwork's going to be you and me surfing on a blood wave.
It's a bit more romantic in the film. Like they change bodies by kissing, don't they?
Yeah, that's it.
Doesn't he sneeze it out at one point? In our version, blood fart. She actually drew us in the actual little machine they're in, like one window each of the little grabbers at the front, but like on a wave. Like shit.
On a wave of blood. I don't know how I'm going to get away with this one, but I'll fucking go for it.
Towards an arsehole, like.
Oh mate, I'm gonna have fun with this one, definitely.
That's horrible.
Well,
sorry everyone.
I'm glad you're on the up and up.
Yeah, I feel fine now. I feel a lot better. I feel much better.
I wasn't expecting it to go into that much detail when Greg said he was talking about his arsehole on the podcast.
I'd been saving it.
It's necessary. It's fucking necessary.
Yeah, well, you know what? It's like when we did the episode about Indiana being born. I told everyone the stuff that I didn't know about. The things that I learned as being there for the birth. So I thought I'd do the same with the colonoscopy.
In comparison, my life seems so sheltered. I just
not anymore. But yeah, so yeah, I do. I mean, I'm not. It's not over. I'm going to have to keep having these done for the rest of my life. But
but it's for a good. It's for a good cause. It's for a good cause.
First one's down.
First one down. 18 more to go until death.
Yeah, it was. Good fun.
I think this is kind of sort of coming. Oh, sorry.
I do want to say props to Kingston Hospital, actually. They were very good, though. They were very, very good.
No, it sounds like they did.
Great.
It sounds like they kept you very calm in that sort of scenario, and that's always a good
the
thing.
staff were fantastic, yeah.
Yeah. I was going to say it feels like we're drawing to a close, Greg, but you'll be very happy to know that I need to go to the toilet. So we'll be back in a brief moment.
Classic. He's been necking those red cups. It's fine. I'll just wait here on my own. On my own. on my own, Joe on my own. Joe needs a wee. Busting for a piss. Leaving me here to wait. I wait. I'm just waiting alone. Joe's having a piss. Give the porcelain a miss. Splish splash around your feet. Little droplets of human temperature heat. Seen him piss before. Now my view is blocked by Skype and a fucking door. I'm waiting, 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 waiting for you. He's having a pee, he's having a wee, he's having a piss, he's having a whiz, he's shooting the fish, he's having a tinkle, a piddle, man, he's having a leak. He's finished his leak, he's finished his leak, he's finished his leak, he's busted his piss. He's busted his piss, he's busted his piss, he's finished his wee.
Did I miss anything?
No. How was your piss?
Yeah, it was delightful. Yeah, you've never shown interest in my piss before.
I always show interest in your piss.
Okay.
Always show.
on
I'm
that note-
messaging you all the time. Yeah, I say it does draw it to close. Listen, listeners, I'm sorry if this episode seemed a bit. I think this is more of a classic episode of All Seeing Guys.
This
in
is
some
like
respects.
if this is
We've
the sort
literally
of thing where
focused on
we've
two
been
subjects:
this
going
this,
to the pub and Greg's arsehole.
That's it. This reminds me of the episode we did where I had tonsillitis and you had brain issues. When you had like a massive fucking headache due to teeth.
Oh yeah.
When we were
of course.
both like fucked up.
course,
Oh no,
yeah.
no, not even that. Like you had a kid and I. What did I do? What
Did you do?
What did I do when you had a kid? Basically, it was the episode that we called "It's a Lot's Happened." Oh,
Yeah,
I
that
moved
was
out.
that-
I fucking moved out. That's what happened.
Yeah, that's the one when Indiana was born. So also, I did want to, before we actually get to a close, bring up the fact that on my Facebook memories, what day was it? Yesterday? Was it? What day was that?
I can tell you now
Second.
that this time
Wednesday.
2 years ago we released the episode Batman Grill.
And 3 years ago, it was the one when we were been to the Lake District.
Oh yeah, that was a good time.
That was a good time. But yeah,
was a great
basically,
time.
it came up on my Facebook memories that 6 years ago, on Tuesday just gone, the 2nd of June, I did a post that simply said, the All Seeing Guys podcast starts recording tonight and will be up online this week. Email us at theallseeingguys@gmail.com or hit us up on Twitter at theallseeing with daily things that piss you off, topics you want us to discuss, funny stories, weird dreams, everything and nothing. And at that point, we didn't even have a Facebook page for All Seeing Guys because I like shared the Dice Rollers page with it.
Oh yeah. And then
Right, so, yeah.
you found the importance of segregation.
So now we know we are full on 6 years in to the podcast.
6
There's been an
years.
episode every 2 weeks.
6
in fact,
years,
more than that.
155 episodes, countless hours of
Yeah,
us.
more than 155 normal episodes. But we've released bonus episodes, radio plays. Like, there's been more than what we've put out.
And you know what? You're welcome.
You are welcome, and so am I. I feel welcome as well.
I do. I always feel welcome. Well, what a lovely, as always, Greg. Another fantastic time of chatting and
A great episode. Do you know, literally, we haven't even, because I've got like stuff on my phone. I literally have written down, welcome, episode 155, catch up, pub, and then we've talked since then.
yeah.
And all the rest of the stuff I've had prep, we haven't even touched. Like,
I always love it when we sign off amazed at our own abilities to talk.
It's
always my
good.
favourite.
In my eyes, this has been an awesome episode. I'm not sure how much our listeners will agree.
Yeah, who knows? I mean, it depends how much they want to know about your arsehole, because they're going to get a lot of information.
For further,
I might use the photo you
message
sent me in the fucking artwork, you know?
Oh, God. Oh, I thought you meant the blood fart one.
No, not that one.
I didn't say.
You sent us the inside of your fucking anus.
You could like draw us cutting it out.
Yeah, I'm
Like
going to just draw us
in
the little spaceship thing inside him, just like, oh, what's that? And then just Greg was here written on the fucking growth.
Well, yeah, thanks for listening, everyone. Awesome. I love doing this. It's been a good time. I've got progressively more merry as the episode's gone on.
I never want this to end.
I think my sign-off's pretty obvious. I've been Greg Bloodfart Armstrong.
Bollocks.
No, Bloodfart.
Shitter. All right, I've been Joe
Bloodfart.
Small Somalian Egyptian Man Jackson. Good night.
Where's me 20 kids?
Quality.
The All Seeing Guys podcast is part of Podnose, the UK's leading independent entertainment podcasting network. For episode archives of the All Seeing Guys and all of the shows on the network, visit us at www.podnose.com. You can also follow us on Twitter via @Podnose or send us an email via admin@podnose.com.